girl Creole Barbie alongside with
Miracle.
And today we are moving the mail with episode 7.
Oh, I had 6 up. I'm at 7, y'all.
But before we go ahead into the move the mail segment, I have to let Miracle in on a few things. Now, the first thing is Gigi. Gigi is actually converting to be career this month.
Congratulations, Gigi.
Shout out to Gigi for turning career. Gigi, I wish you nothing but the best in your postal journey.
Amen.
And I hope it takes you as far as you allow it to take you.
Yes.
Now, another thing is, last week, I actually went ahead and asked all the mail handlers to come to the forefront. I called all the mail handlers because Bitter Peach had a question. And her question was about the mail handlers' negotiations for their contract. She wanted to know exactly would they have a salary increase or if they would ever have one due to inflation.
Okay.
So I went ahead and made the short, and I honestly got some feedback.
Okay.
So let's get into the feedback. So the first person is going to be Workers Advo. Shout out to Workers Advo because they gave me really good insight on the question we asked.
Okay.
So they said, nope, and the way that we are treated is horribly. This is why MHA and those converted less than 2 years are leaving or have left. Too much breaking back work for little pay. It's $21 per hour at UPS. And Amazon work went way up in their pay as well doing similar work. So that was from Workers Advo. Now, also another person had actually chimed in by the name of Sage Ninja.
Okay.
Now, Sage Ninja wrote, we get paid $21 an hour starting. What you mean? And we get about $1,500 increase in stats every 11 months at USPS. So those were some
good questions.
And those were some of those feedbacks that actually chimed in on, because honestly I do feel like the Mel Handlers Union need to help their workers by giving them more starting salary.
Come on, y'all, do y'all's job.
And just increase the pay because they do a lot of work.
They do a lot of work.
It is physical.
Yeah. But I've always felt like they did more than us, but we make more. And I'm just being brutally honest.
Yes.
We don't do as much as they do.
Especially the physical part.
Yeah.
When it comes to the physically moving those heavy equipment,
those bags,
and breaking down bags and letter trays and slinging those parcels,
those sleeves.
Yeah, unsleeving those letter trays, that stuff can get heavy.
It can get real heavy.
So I understand why they do the things they do now. Yeah. I honestly do. And maybe that's their way of telling their union we require more pay.
That's right.
So we moving along because Miracle, we are moving the mail.
That's right.
Alright, so these are some things I want to talk about in episode 7. September. So, you know, this is our pay period where we'll have reflected our new contractual raise. Hey! But for mine and your husbands, you know how we have our step increase.
Correct.
So not only that we have our contractual raise, we do have our step increase this pay period. But let's get into the actual contractual raise part. So what they're saying is this: we get 47 cents per hour. That's almost $40 a paycheck starting this pay period, which gives us an additional $1,000 a year.
Wow.
Now with our step increase, that's an additional $1,000 a year.
Good.
Meaning that we're touching a little bit under $30 an hour.
Correct.
So when people ask me, is it worth leaving my $21.50 job for? And I love going back to that question.
Yeah.
I tell them yes, because think about how long we've been career.
That's right.
And when we turned career, it was $21 hour.
Yeah.
You remember that $21?
Yes.
That was our career starting salary.
Yes.
So from what?
And we started off at like 18 something to make that big jump that quick.
Well, yeah, because you know when I got hired, it was $17.
Yeah, mine was different. Mine was $18.49 when I started.
See what I'm saying? And then now with the turning career.
Yep.
And we haven't been career that long.
That long, nope.
You know, and we're almost touching $30 an hour.
That's correct. That's a blessing, y'all. I mean, even though we get frustrated with this place, you still have to look at your blessing. I don't like being there all the time, but I'm comfortable. I can pay all my bills and still be like, babe, we comfortable.
Exactly.
I'm for real. Especially if you work that overtime. You got it.
Speaking of overtime.
Ooh, let's get on it.
What is the importance of reading and understanding overtime announcements?
You need to make sure that you're reading the sheet. Because they have disciplinary action for those that don't follow what the instructions is on the paperwork.
And also, I feel like they should start to make it more clear.
Yes.
The reason why I say this is because we had some of our own people ask me, what they call overtime for us? And I'm reading the sheet and it says, master list clerks work this amount of hours.
Right.
Then they'll call other units. And then they'll say in the second line, report to I-14 for your work assignment.
Right.
Well, we know that's letter automation. And master clerk we ideally know.
Right.
But I feel like they should break down every single unit that they call it in, including automation for people not to second guess it.
Right. And you're absolutely correct about that because, you know, me and my husband time in and out on the docks, East Dock.
Right.
So, I believe this poll 08. I noticed that when they do their overtime sheet, they're not being specifically clear. They're just like, overtime, 10 hours. And they'll put no penalty in all caps. Okay, we get that. We're not slow. But you do need to be clear as far as the locations.
Speaking of no penalty. Alright, so we just talked about the importance of understanding the overtime announcement. Mm-hmm. But also, like you said, where it specifies penalty, right?
Yes.
But I need to know this, okay? I dealt with this. So, working 5 days in a row at 10 hours a day of overtime, it'll give you V time, which is penalty.
That's right.
But sometimes the overtime announcement, that particular day was on a Friday.
Okay.
It did not say no penalty.
And it said 10 hours?
It did say 10 hours.
See, they're not specifying.
So I knew automatically it's my 5th day.
Yeah.
And they hadn't been calling penalty. So I went around asking the supervisors, like, look, because I don't want to stay and then I'm end up getting in trouble for getting penalty. Because they are sticklers about the penalty pay.
Yeah. They don't want to pay us.
And they say no penalty, no penalty. Mm-hmm. Even though I didn't say it, but they had actually, when the supervisors told me, they had a Plan 5 the day before telling everyone they're not calling penalty right now. So what they ended up doing was they actually readjusted the overtime announcement and made it say no penalty. Because if not, then I would have been able to stay. But
and nothing could have happened to you because you didn't say that on the sheet.
Exactly.
Okay, got you.
But here's another kicker. Because even though they called no penalty and they sent me home for my 5th day, I could have filed a grievance because they called penalty on tour 3. So they called them at 12 hours. So how can you send me home and then I could have worked to prevent that penalty for tour 3?
Exactly, because we're like the first ones anyway, which don't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. So we caught wind of it, and now they actually went back and readjusted, which is called amended.
Yeah.
They amended their overtime announcement.
After they effed up though, that's
because they start realizing, like, wait a minute, we start sending these people home.
Yep. And people gonna feel salty about that because I've always felt like that. Even when I was on tour 3, I would be like, because I used to love the fact that I could come in 2 hours early. I like to get my overtime done on the front end, not the back end. So when they used to let us come in 2 hours early, then they just stopped doing it for an entire year. It frustrated me that they were still giving tour 1 2 hours early every day. And you know, people that on a whole nother tour, they're gonna feel some type of way, like, hey, what's up with that? Then you're gonna cause problems and then you're gonna cause grievances.
You are.
So you have to be fair throughout the whole building because somebody is always gonna have something to say.
And Let's speak on more about the overtime because we're talking about the importance of understanding the announcement.
Okay.
The importance of knowing what penalty is and the effects of it.
Okay.
The importance of actually being on the overtime desired list. How important is to having your name on that list?
It's really important because, say for instance, they call overtime and you're not on that list, and you decide, hey, I'm gonna just go ahead and work this overtime because it's on the sheet. Per policy, they can send you home.
Yes.
And I mean, you're gonna be sitting up there butthurt. Cause I mean, me and my husband, this is how we do it. We didn't like signing the sheet when we first came in, but then as time went on, I'm like, let's just go ahead and sign it. Even if it means that we're not staying, who cares?
Absolutely.
Because they can't get mad if you don't stay every time, but they can't get petty and say, look, you've been working this overtime every day and you didn't sign no paperwork.
Yes.
And you don't want to ever mess up your money, y'all.
That's
so
right.
Make sure that you go and sign that sheet, whether you're going to do it or not. I always say CYOA. That means cover your own ass.
Most definitely. And another thing people have to realize this is that there are people that pay attention to who's working overtime and who's
not. Yes.
And who's on that list and who isn't.
Right.
And they find out you are not on that list. And they didn't call non-list. Because typically around the holiday times and election, they're going to start calling those who are not on the list to work. And they see that you're working this overtime, number one, that's stealing post office money.
That's right.
Because you're not on the list. And secondly, what will happen is these individuals can file grievances on you because you're not on the overtime desired list.
That's
and like
right.
you mentioned, sometimes I may not feel like staying.
Yep.
But as long as I'm on the list,
it don't matter what I do.
Exactly. Important roles different tours play. I used to think that Tour 3 did all the work, but now that I'm on Tour 2, I think highly different.
Yeah. What do you think?
I feel like Tour 3 doesn't do what I used to think they did.
Yeah.
But I feel like this, though, the reason why I probably felt like we did a lot of work is because I was the one that was sent to do a lot of work on Tour 3.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, well, damn, we doing all the work on Tour 3. But in actual reality, Tour 3 is being made up a lot by Tour 2.
Exactly. I was about to say that. And you know what? You right, sis, about that. Because being on Tour 2, I learned. I felt the same exact way. Like, dang, Tour 3 gets all the bull crap. We got to be 1 and 2. They barely do anything. But now that I'm on 2, they want us to be the cleanup crew. Like, they try to overwork us during our 8 hours. We do our 8 hours, then we go into overtime, and they want us to still be Tour 3 too.
What makes it so uncomfortable for me is that when I'm doing overtime, I already did my 8 hours.
That's right.
Now that is just basically extending a hand.
Right. I don't have to be here.
And MBO came up to me and asked me, my partner, well, why is it 2 of y'all on this machine? I said, well, it's been 2 of us on the machine all day. So what she wanted to do is just saying, well, hey, do you mind going to this machine and start this mill because I look around and we have empty machines because we're understaffed?
Yeah.
You chose to be aggressive and acted as if we're doing something that's abnormal.
Exactly.
When really it was completely normal, and you know the procedures of Tour 2 and how it's ran.
Correct.
It's things like that.
That was good, sis.
You know,
don't treat us, because sis basically said it. We did our 8 hours. Overtime is a helping hand for your tour.
That's right.
Not for you to keep constantly treating us like we're the cleanup crew. That's not fair, because I've noticed that too, going into overtime. They want us to do all this work, and I'm like, no, because you have somebody coming in at 3:30. And again, we already did our 8 hours.
Yes.
And that's the real reason why a lot of people don't stay and do overtime, because they be treated like slaves.
And then you have an attitude with them or try to make them feel like you're entitled to getting so much work out of them, and then you're
not.
Aren't as entitled to getting anything out. Or
That's
you
right.
see the lazies and then you're bypassing what they're actually doing.
Correct.
Hold people accountable. The ones that aren't working, start getting on them.
Yep.
Things that make you feel uncomfortable while working overtime.
let's do all the work. I don't like when the supervisors are rude too. Like, we're here to help you.
Yes.
Don't talk to me any kind of way. Don't get smart and snobby. And be respectful.
Do you know what mine is?
What is yours?
This is mine.
How long are you gonna stay? Are you working 10, 12 hours today?
They do that.
Well, I need to know the exact time.
What time are you leaving the machine?
Okay, what's your name?
When you go to break?
And it's like, first of all, calm down.
Right.
Secondly, I'm signing up for 10. Now, if y'all call 11 and a half, depending on how my day goes, I'm going to do that 11 and a half, but sometimes I don't know the whole answer.
Right.
So therefore, as long as I'm telling you that I'm staying for overtime,
That's all that should
take
matter.
it as that. Don't
Yeah.
tell me how many hours or ask me how many hours am I staying.
Yeah, because that's a bit much.
It is a bit. And then
Especially when we just did 8 hours.
I gotta see how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
You might make me mad, and I'm ready to clock out now.
That's right, because I'm known for that, y'all.
Yes.
You do something stupid and I know I can go home, I'm going home.
It's over with. I'll see you again tomorrow.
My peace of mind is more important than this bullcrap.
That's right. Alright, you guys, so this wraps up episode 7 of Moving the Mail alongside with Miracle. Be sure to comment in the comment section below if you guys have any questions that you want to have us touch on for episode 9 and 10. Also, I need your full interaction because the more interaction I see on this channel, especially the segment of Moving the Mail with Miracle,
Yes.
because we put our work in, and I
Yes.
feel like we are underrated.
Yes.
And we're not trying to be little dogs no more, okay?
Exactly.
Because we come up with content.
Period.
Heat, thunder. We're doing things that individuals aren't doing
Correct.
in the USPS community. And if you guys follow me, y'all know I've been doing this for 5 years. 5 years I've been on this journey when there wasn't a lot of people out here. However,
That was good.
However, I'm saying this to say the more interaction I get you guys, I need you guys to thrive because that will show me we're ready to go live, baby.
Yes.
Because I'm not pushing that live button until I get that interaction.
I agree. I like that.
So show me you're really down with USPS blogs and Moving the Mail with Miracle.
No, that's the Barbie gang. We're the Barbie gang. Period. That's period.
So again, thank you guys for watching this. This concludes episode 7. You guys stay tuned because episode 8 will be dropping soon.